brush my hair. I look very dead tired, but we'll probably be in this live by ourselves, and we'll just wait for them. But I just want to give everybody an update. Welcome back. Your turn.
Hi, I'm Frank.
And I am Abby. And together,
We're Frabby Farm.
we're Frabby Farm and we're exhausted.
And also not farming.
Well, I mean, we are in a sense because we're still. Can we split my hair in half? Because that's like messed up. No, no, Frank. Oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure you're just. You started.
Well, the brush didn't break.
I let Frank watch. What was it? Do you remember the movie?
No.
I'm trying to remember the movie. I'm too tired to remember the movie. I tried, or I got Frank to watch the movie with me, where Anne Hathaway's getting her hair brushed by, is his name Pablo?
Mm-hmm.
And he breaks her brush, and he ends up hurting her face or whatever. So, or not her face, sorry. I think he broke her glasses, and then she goes, "You broke my glasses." And then what does he say?
You broke my brush.
So on this
Top tier writing that.
top tier writing, I don't like you. But we came to update you guys because you haven't seen me literally since I think probably realistically we had posted a video that we filmed about Mean Girls a while ago. I think we recorded it a year and a half ago, and we finally came back and posted it. But I wanted to update you guys because from the last time you guys saw me, I definitely probably fell off the face of the earth. Oh, there we go. It's Princess Diaries. Thanks, Sheila. But I fell off the face of the earth because just a lot of medical stuff and paperwork and all that. And I think the last time I talked to you guys, I had only been able to stand for 57 seconds. So we just double checked again today. And how long was I able to stand today?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. I am rocking it. Actually, it was very painful. Now I'm very tired. But I'm getting used to the MS life. My little sister was like, "Don't make it your entire identity." And I'm like, having holes in my brain. So I'm like, that's a pretty big one to have as my identity. Like when people, because I look young, and whenever I'm in a wheelchair or I'm in my little scooter, I go into stores, and then there's people that are like, very politely, they're like, why are you in a wheelchair? Why are you in a scooter or whatever? And I'm like, oh, that's easy. I got holes in my brain. You want to see a picture? And then I whip out my phone, and I'm like, and they're like, ooh, sure. And they get very curious. And then I show them the photos on my, I show them the photos on my screensavers. I don't think I can pull it up right now, but that's fine. Usually, well, you can kind of see it faded in right there with the butterfly. So I show them that, and then I tell them my entire history. Right now, Frank is basically just curling my hair into the heatless curls because that's been the thing that we have found that is the easiest for both of us to do. He tried curling with heat, and it was not working, and I cannot live a life where I look normal. Like I was raised very spoiled, and at the like halfway through last year, my neighbor was like, stop dressing like well, who did Barb tell me to stop dressing like not
Raggedy
Pippi.
Ann?
It was Raggedy Ann. She's like, you should not dress like that. I can make you clothing. Stop looking like a homeless person. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay, Barb. And so she made me a bunch of skirts, and then made me a bunch of shirts and stuff. And I was like, okay. So it's the same Barb and it's the same mom where I get in trouble if I'm not at least dressed, because life is like the reason to be alive. You should at least try to be presentable. I don't know. But yeah, so Frank has been getting really good at doing my hair, and I am just learning how to trust him to do it and help me. Which one's your favorite way to curl? Because we have all the curlers that I've always used. And we tried to teach that one to Frank, and he burned himself a lot of times.
I don't have fingerprints anymore. Hey, you want to start passing me chunks of hair? And keep yapping.
Yeah, I can do that. Give me a sec. Anyways, you want to tell them something?
I don't know what to tell them.
How have you been in this whole situation with me being broken?
Not very good. Thank you for asking.
I need more details.
Oh. Not good. No, I'm just constantly exhausted.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yep.
I think the thing that's
Hopefully
been...
I'll be getting a sleep apnea machine soon. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
You're missing that whole chunk of hair.
I know. I think that the thing is that, like, Frank has, for a lot of you guys, you know that Frank is a veteran, and he actually happened to,
This one?
yep, go to Iraq and, decided to randomly get bombed. Why'd you do that, Frank?
Fun and profit.
For who? Because you didn't get paid.
Somebody.
For the rich and elite.
If nobody got paid, then I did it for no reason, and that's just depressing, so hope somebody got paid.
You did it for oil.
I'm trying to get paid now.
But because I've been broken, it's actually opened the door for Frank to be able to actually step back and realize that physically, medically, and emotionally, he's needed a lot of help. And now it's given us the time to...
More hair. More hair.
It's given us the time to actually figure out that Frank's spine is not okay after that. Like, it's broken. And
My spine is not broken.
No, your spine is pretty damaged. No, I think it's your back. Wait, that is your spine. Something's broken.
Nothing is broken. My lower back is damaged and in pain frequently.
And then you can never sleep.
When you go online and you start telling people that my spine is broken,
I'm sorry.
it's going to raise a lot of questions.
I'm sorry. The filter in, like, processing my
There's no filter.
There never has been. Let's be real. That should be good by itself. But it's just I don't know. I'm tired. But yeah, because I am broken, and officially, according to every doctor I have seen, I am fully disabled, which is nerve-wracking, especially with everything happening right now in the world. But it's kind of wild to understand that, like, the doctors keep telling me, they're like, you're disabled, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm still me. And they're like, Abby, you can't walk. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I just gotta build the muscles again. And they're like, well, we can reevaluate you at that point. But until then, you are disabled. And I got the lovely the tag, so, like, I get lovely parking for my wheelchair and for me, so I can be closer to the grocery store and stuff. It's great. It's I feel bad because we get so many stairs. You remember that one lady at the, where was it? The Skechers store that, like, she saw us and she saw Frank get out and start walking, and then, like, we didn't cut her off. She literally tried to swipe into the parking spot and get in, and, like, at that point we had already been...
we pulled into the parking lot first, and she pulled in right behind us, and we took the handicap parking space in front of her, and because we were there first, and she got very mad about it and was mean mugging us.
Yeah, no, she
then-
literally was like very confused, and she stopped and she was sitting in her car and she was like, and I was like, sorry. So like I opened it and she saw me, and at that point like she started rolling her eyes and waited until I got off, and she like
Then she started walking up, and then I pulled the wheelchair out of the back, and then she made beeline. The beeline that she made to us, she made away from us again.
real quick, like she moved fast and rapidly as soon as I was like, yeah, I physically can't walk, I'm sorry. But we have had so many of those encounters where they're like, usually they're it's kind of hilarious where they're so mad because I took the spot from them. I'm like, I'm not trying to, I'm sorry. I was like, I wish.
It's not even that we want to be close to the store. It's that we need enough space to get the wheelchair or the electric scooter, or whatever you're using that day, out of the vehicle.
The vroom vroom.
And when you park 2 inches away from my door,
We can't do that.
I can't get that wheelchair out.
I know.
Not you, because you don't park 2 inches away from my door. Or you. But somebody.
If you do park over 2 inches from the door, I will give you the heads up that Frank might just so happen to, just.
I may have severely dinged somebody's door when they parked in the. So you have like the handicap spot, and in between you have the dashed lines or whatever. Well, that's the loading zone. That's for people getting their mobility equipment out of their vehicles and all that. And when you park in that spot in your giant Yukon and you do not have any disabled plates or tags or anything, and I have to get my wheelchair out, not my wheelchair, her wheelchair, in this much space, your car's going to get dinged a little bit.
Oh my Lord. The
Say
people at
lovey.
Big R, that one has been like the worst place to park.
You bring in there.
I'm sorry. The worst place to park has been Big R. Because whoa. Before the lines were like drastically like fading and stuff, and like people literally like park in them. So then you have like no handicap signs, which doesn't bother us because we're like, okay, cool. Like there's no spots for us, and then we just go further back or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going. But yeah, like the one gentleman, the big truck that like parked on like 3 parking spots across, and he parked the wrong way. That was ridiculous. So that one Frank might have hit his door. Well, his door was already damaged. I should probably not be incriminating us. I'm trying. Stop it. Keep going. This is what I deal with every day. But yeah, he just so happened to bump his truck lovely with a lovely love bump. It was so bad. His truck, he was an awful person too.
We somehow magically know that. Don't know how we know that.
Because we walked in and
Never met them, but
No.
I'm sure they're awful people. Because they did one thing we didn't like, so they must be horrible, immoral spawns of Satan.
Yep. No, but yeah, I don't know if he was awful, okay? Leave me alone. But that's been our favorite.
Didn't stop you from saying it, though.
Well, yeah, I have no filter.
Anyway, you're rambling. What do you want to talk about?
What? I forgot where I was talking about.
I can tell.
Stop. You're awful. What was I talking about?
Before that, I don't know. You were rambling about how you're disabled and you talk to people in grocery stores and show them the holes in your brain.
Well, okay, so the lady at Lowe's what was it, yesterday or the day before?
Those are both options, yeah.
Stop, Frank. She was so sweet. She I was waiting, and there was a gentleman that came up because I was looking for. Give me one of the little buckets. I was looking for these buckets. Here, I can do the pink one. I was looking for these buckets, And I was like, I'm literally gonna pass these out for Valentine's Day and fill them up with treats. And this little old lady was like having a blast talking to me because apparently she used to listen. She gave me her whole life story. She got a divorce, and so she ended up changing her license plates to Abby. And then she got very happy when she saw my little motorized scooter that my mom and Barb bought me for Christmas. And she's like, Abby. And I was like, yeah, that's my name. And she giggled and she's like, well, when I had a divorce, there's a country song you should listen to that's called Abby about the guy getting a divorce and then finding a better girl named Abby. She's like, so I changed my license plate and my ex-husband was like, it wasn't lost on me that's about me. And she was like, of course it was. I was like confused because I was just sitting there waiting for two gentlemen when I walked into Lowe's asking where these guys were. They were very, again, I am a girl that looks way too young. And I was sitting in the in the area, and two of the guys came up and they're like, oh yeah, we just put those up, we'll get them down. I felt so bad because they pulled out one of the super tall ladders and then they climbed all the way up and started pulling out boxes that they had just put up there. And then they were surrounded with a ton of people. So I kept talking to the lady and I was like, oh, I'll just go follow him. He's like, no, I'll come back. You just stay right here and keep talking. I'll be right back and get it. So I was like talking to this girl or this little old lady, and we were just hanging out, vibing right there and talking about her story. And then, like, that's when I was like, oh, I got holes in my brain. Do you want to see? And she was like, oh, wow, what is that? And I was like, it's MS. It's just a lot of damage in my neurological pathway. So when I tell the easiest example is like when I tell my right leg to lift, the message going down like doesn't make it down fast enough, and it takes me a second to do that. So like walking has gotten a little bit more difficult, hence why I'm in physical therapy now, and they're retraining all those muscles and stuff like that. So they're like, okay, Abby, you're gonna lift your right leg over this hoop and we're gonna go up forward, and then you're gonna do it backwards, and you're gonna process that little path, and you're going to retrain your brain to use that little pathway. So I was like, oh, I don't like it. But I was sitting there and I was like talking to the lady, explaining all this about MS and stuff. And I just so happened to like look over my shoulder and look off. And there's literally like 4 or 5 men sitting like at the bottom of this ladder. And all of them are pulling these boxes down. And I'm like, I cannot. Like, this is embarrassing. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. And so he came down and I eventually went and got all my buckets. They counted out buckets for me and stuff. And I was giggling because I was like, this is so awkward. And they just always do that. Like there was another guy at, which one's King Supers, that like stopped me. He's like, he's like, I hope this isn't rude, but like, what happened to you? Because it doesn't look like you broke a leg. And I was like, oh, I love curiosity. And so I, again, told him my whole life story because why not? And he was very gentle, and he was polite, and Frank was in the bathroom. So I told him my whole story and then let him off on his way or whatever. And I just was chilling there and talking. And I was like, okay, cool. Thanks. And that was a very polite experience with a curious person that's like using critical thinking to be like, okay, you're young and you're not walking, like you don't look broken, why? Like I'm actually curious. So I was like, oh, those are my favorite humans. And then there was another one. Oh, I gotta fix my chair, give me a sec. Oh, almost died. There was another one where I was at Walmart. This one, again, it happens a lot. I was at Walmart like 3 days ago or something like that this last week. And this gentleman, I dropped something because obviously I have to get up. And my little scooter thing, the way it's set up is that it has a little lever on the side. So I can pull the lever and then I can twist around into the direction of the store and stand up for a second and reach whatever I can that's like above in the taller spots, and I grabbed it. With that one, I ended up dropping something on accident, and this gentleman like immediately runs over and grabs it, and he passes it to me, and I was like, "Thank you, um, thanks for helping me." And he like that one was the weirdest one I've had so far, because I left and I went off because I was like, "Okay, thanks, I got my, I think it was lollipops." Yeah, no, it was green pop. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I grabbed it. I was like, thank you. I said thank you and was very polite and moved on or whatever. And then he starts following me. And I was like, awkward. So I start going and I was like, okay, like this has been like a solid couple minutes. Like he's actually following me. And so I was in the candy aisle in Walmart, the ghetto Walmart, if you don't know about it, which one that one is. It's the 85, 87 one. And then I was like going from the candy aisle to the women's clothing area, like in that direction. Because at that point I was checking out. And I looked back and he's standing there. He's like, it looks like I'm following you. I promise I'm not. And I was like, oh, that's okay. I was like, the store's not that big. And he was like, I pinky promise I'm not following you. I was like, oh, thanks. I was like, I'm sure you wouldn't be following me to this next one because I'm gonna go buy a dress. And at that point, I like turned into the women's aisle of clothing, and he was like, oh, actually, I might want a dress. I was like, I mean, if you want a white dress, like nobody's stopping you. You can match with me. We can see if they have it in your side. He giggled and he was like, no, I don't actually want one. I was like, okay, well, have a nice day. And I was like, bye. And I was like, I don't know what to do because I have so many experiences like that where he like, it was just awkward. Oh, and then like right before he like went off after I told him about the white dress and that stuff, he's like, I don't mind my he's like, I don't mind if I tell you this, but you are the prettiest person or girl that I've ever, well, you're the prettiest woman I've ever seen, and you have very beautiful hair. And he's like, does anybody ever tell you that? And I was like, this is where I lost complete tact. Like, that has been my challenge in life, is my godfather constantly teaching me to understand how to have tact. And I go, all the time, everybody tells me I'm pretty. I was like, and he was like, he didn't know what to say at that point. I was like, I mean, at that point, I was like scootering away slowly because I was like, I don't know what to say. He's like, I don't know what to say. And I was like, yeah, they tell me all the time I'm very pretty. I was like, okay, bye. Lovely day. I called Frank and I was like, I literally just had such a rude moment with this poor gentleman that was literally sharing that I was so pretty. And I was like, thanks, I know. I was like, I literally, it was awful. And so that one was like the worst like situation or whatever. That same Walmart, I was like turning into the shoe area, and as I'm turning again, a gentleman looks at me, and I think he just glanced really quick, and then started going directly towards my scooter and almost crashed into me. And I was like, at that point, I didn't know what to say, so I was like, "You're walking on the wrong side of the road." He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and I was like, "It's okay, I'll go around you." And so then I grabbed my little buggy and I went around him. I was like, the interactions that I have gotten out of random people in grocery stores or shopping centers, I'm like, I cannot control the fact that I do not have tact when it comes to stuff like that. Like, Frank knows that like my mom when she was pregnant with me actually found every single preacher, pastor, person, ministry in church and would go over for them to pray for me for beauty and for long hair. So my mom kind of messed that whole thing up for me. So I do happen to get a lot of compliments, and I don't I don't fully understand it because I'm like, there are so many beautiful people in the world and stuff like that. But that added with the fact that my mother in law told me not to dress like Raggedy Ann and then made me a bunch of clothes. And like, my moms, I had to be careful saying that when I was in high school because they would be like, you have lesbian moms? I'm like, no, it's my mom and my godmother. Um, Put me on a very high standard of what I look like when I'm out in public. And so I'm like, I don't know. It's been fun because, like, even with doctors, they're like, you don't look like you're disabled. I'm like, I don't feel like I'm disabled. They're like, but your medical records say you can't do anything, like with walking and stuff like that. I'm like, I know. The doctors keep telling me I'm broken. And then I'm like, oh, well, is it going to kill me? I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. And then they're like, no, MS is just MS. You're like literally going to change a little bit of route on the road to the end of your story, but it doesn't kill you. And I was like, dang. Um, but yeah, I'm telling you guys my entire life story. It's been an adventure with the wheelchair and the buggy and stuff like that. It's been interesting to say the least. But yeah, I am still alive. I have moved up from being able to walk and or stand for 57 seconds to stand for 6 minutes, and I can hold it pretty well. And then I do have some weird MS related symptoms, like when I get tired and stuff, I get tremors. So basically, my legs start shaking on the right side of my leg. And so when I'm standing there, it's just literally like it literally is shaking. It's like vibrating. And then I obviously have the holes in my brain that when I'm like, ooh, left foot lift, and it doesn't listen, it's so dumb. But all the doctors and stuff like that, because I am young and because I'm eager to go back to where I was, my neurologist definitely told me that I will get back to who I used to be, but it's going to take as long as it was to find out what was going on with me. So, like a year and a half to 2 years to get back to that place where I used to be. And I can trust that it's going to get better. So, he's like the best neurologist. He's actually signed me up for what they call BioNest, and it's pretty much like it zaps. It's the best way I can describe it is like a taser. So it zaps the best way I can describe it actually is, you know, those pieces of gum that you would pull and they would zap you when you pulled the little piece of gum. Like that's what it feels like on my legs. And so as I'm walking, it zaps whatever muscles are like lifting my legs. And so whenever I lean to like lift my right leg, that machine is amazing because it actually notices when I'm doing that, and immediately as it starts zapping my leg, so it can react with my muscle and help me walk and move my legs. So that's the biggest damage is all on my right side. But I got that BioNest. I have the greatest physical therapist. They also set me up with the new physical therapist that go along with the MS like lab. They're literally in the same building. That gives me the infusion to stop my body from letting my white blood cells attack my own body. And so that's pretty interesting too. That's the whole thing. But yeah, I love them. I love all of them. Like all my doctors and everybody is great, and then they're very helpful and they give me all the opportunities that I can do, which kind of makes me a lot sad. It makes me very sad because I'm like, what about the other people that I have met on this journey? Because one of the biggest things is with MS, you need to have like a support group. And they suggest a bunch of support groups, and I'm on a lot of them, and I can hear their story, and like their story is totally different than mine. Like mine is full of very lovely people that just want to help, and their stories are like constantly fighting for what I'm getting simply because they're either older or because they have another disease on top of that. And when I go in and start describing like my diet, where I like what I eat, where I like my activities and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, you're, it sounds like they're saying, they don't actually physically say it, but they say you're worth investing in to get you back on your feet. And it makes me feel all kinds of types of weird with that, because I'm like, it hurts my heart that like they are willing to encourage me to do all that, um, and they don't with others. And I have seen the world from a wheelchair, which I never thought I was going to, but I'm able to see how much difficulty they go through to get anything. Like military vets have a huge part of my head and my heart beat, not my head. I have a huge part in my heart because through the MS, Frank has been able to go back to figuring out with like what's wrong with his actual body after the military and stuff. And so now we have time to do that because I am broken. We have that time. Um, but I'm like, it hurts my heart because there are so many people out there that don't have the opportunities that I am given simply because of this face, because of this body, because of the age, because of my diet, because of other sick. I don't have any other sicknesses. So it really hurts my heart, but all I can do is be there and support them, and that's all I can realistically do. But I had mentioned on my stories that I wanted to do a live, and then I realized that if you don't have 30 followers on YouTube, you can't do lives. And then I was like sitting there, and then I was like, Abby, don't be dumb. You literally have 30 followers. You just have to go live on the For Abby Farm. You just don't have enough on the Abby one. But I do want to share a little bit more of my personal story. I just want to separate it from the animals because that's different. You know, our gardening is still going, our animals are still vibing, and though we're still doing that, it's just taking a different route. And like I can tell you all day long how to grow a garden, and I can give you all the updates on how to raise animals the best way that you can, and how to raise rabbits in like the most natural habitat, and how much I despise hawks because they literally kill my chickens. But I'm like, I want to help people, not help, sorry. I want to open up the understanding of like why I am the way I am, and like why like I was raised differently and all that about me, but I want to separate it out of respect for the For Abby Farm part of that. Like it's still me, but like that Abby is totally different than the Abby that grew up going to church 6 times a day or 6 times a week. I need to stop. I'm tired. But that Abby is not different, but it is a different side of me where I talk about hair, convince Frank to learn how to do this, so that I can wake up with curly hair. And I have a very loving husband that's willing to do that, as annoying as I am. Or like the side of my life that like I'm giving away fruit no matter where I go. Like I'm picking apples and vegetables and giving them out to my friends. But I have learned so much that I want to share with about all the people in the city. I have met hundreds of people since I started this whole farm journey or whatever. Um, but yeah, I think I'm done. My hair is finally curled. I will look back to see how long this took Frank. And if you got here a little later, I did tell everybody that I went from being able to stand 57 seconds last year to, we just checked, I can stand for 6 minutes now, because my physical therapists are pushing me very hard. They're making me sweat, and I don't like sweating. But yeah, they're doing good, and I'm surrounded by very, very sweet doctors that are trying to make everything better and help me. So yeah, if you don't already know where it's at, I will drop a link in the comments down below. But definitely follow me on the Abby. It's literally just ABBY. so that way I can tell you guys more about my life and crazy stuff that I've seen, like my cousin getting stolen by her dad when I was 6. Not normal according to my therapist. And then helping my grandma have cancer and being her caretaker and stuff. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Watching when my brother went to prison. There's a lot of wild stuff that like kind of starts opening up and understanding why I am very loving with animals and stuff because of my background. My therapist is like, Abby, you have PTSD. No, CPSD. No, CPTSD. There we go. I was like, he was like, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I was like, what does that even mean? But yeah, I was like, I don't understand, sir. But yeah, we'll head over there at some point. And I do want to show you guys more. I should probably post this on that other one and show you guys in a reel or story in the morning of what this actually looks like once I take it out when I wake up. But have a good night. I love you guys. And thank you for enduring this video with me and watching it. It was a roller coaster ride. But go back to some of the stories because they're hilarious. If you just logged in, they're hilarious. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Love you guys. I'm gonna need Frank.